We are live here with the Black Motivation Broadcast. We're here with Javon, Dr. Love Jones, a fellow Jones and a Gemini.
What's up, Jen? How's it going?
It is going amazing. How's it going for you?
It's going fantastic. I'm feeling good, feeling great, and it's a beautiful day.
Hey, it was a beautiful day today, for sure. Beautiful fall day. Fall is my favorite season, so I'm extra excited that it's
Well,
here.
out here, it's the weather's slightly different.
Okay. Because it's pretty all the time.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say pretty all the time, but 90%.
90%, right. We get all the seasons. Y'all get only a couple seasons.
Yeah, and yeah, we see we have winter. It's just probably like 3 days. Yeah, so
Oh, man.
it's a little different.
Right?
So, but it's a good thing we're here, and I'm just grateful to be on board.
For sure, and I'm grateful to have you here. So let us hop straight into this interview, give the people what they want, what the people have been looking for. So
Yeah.
your journey to being an empowerment speaker, author, and coach has not been an easy one. You battled depression, being labeled with disability, and real trauma. You've definitely been put to the test in your life, and you've experienced more hardship than some, more hardship than most. So what has been your main motivation, or what have been your main motivations to keep moving forward?
Um, my main motivation is I have a fire inside of me
Hey,
that does not allow me to be anything less than what I think I am meant to be. So it's like I don't know how to be anything less than what I desire. And I think that's the thing that keeps me going because yeah, I have people depending on me. I have a daughter. I have all these things that's depend on me for me to be successful. But
mhm,
outside of all of that, I depend on me to be successful. I look to me and to be the strongest person. And because if you remove all those other factors, I'm still existing. I'm still in this present moment.
yes, very true. And so, how do you use your personal experiences to motivate and inspire others as a coach?
Well, I look at it as this. For me, it's simple as this. My life is no different than anybody. Everybody has their tough time, their rough time, their testimony.
Hmm.
What I went through, I overcame. And if I could do it,
Oh,
anybody could do it. But you have to look at it as a personal choice. It's not just something that just seems like, okay, some people could do it. This no, that's something that's within you. And I use my story, my testimony, because a testimony is when you get after is when you rise above your test. That's the story. That's why it's a
right.
testimony. So I use my testimony to show people that if I could do it, any one of y'all can do it.
Yes. So very true. So, how did your upbringing in New Jersey, because you are from New Jersey, affect how you operate as an adult who is moving and operating from a position of power?
Well, that's a very good question. I really like that question, and it was one of those ones that it made me have to think when I realized that where I come from,
Okay.
because sometimes when you get to a certain level of success, you just don't you just get there and you just get there and you just do things and you're just in that moment. You never really stop to think, how did I get here?
Right.
And I had to reflect recently based on my own circumstances is that I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I lived between Newark and Irvington. So anybody that's from Jersey, you know where that's at. You know what that's about. So what happens is that I got to a point where I started seeing everything around me and started realizing this ain't what my life's supposed to be,
Right.
you know. And it's not with the city, but it's with the poverty mindset that comes with
Mhm.
being in the inner city. And when I looked at where I was at that moment, I had to realize within myself that I wanted more in my life, and I wanted everybody to definitely. I wanted to show anyone that if I could do it, anybody can do it. And how I got from there to power is that transition is realizing this is not what I want and taking action and doing the things I actually want.
Yes.
It's a whole story. It's not just something that I just got up and just moved. There's been peaks, there's been valleys, but through it all, I the most consistent thing is me.
Hey, and that's the most important thing. Like I said, not consistently, you've got to motivate yourself. You've got to tell yourself when you're down, get up. You know what I mean? Because if there's nobody else there, you have yourself to motivate you, to inspire you, and to keep you going. Or you got to do things. You got to reach out to people. You got to, watch people like yourself who motivate us, inspire us, and empower us. So if you could go back in time and tell your younger self anything, knowing what you know now, what would you say?
To be honest,
Yes.
I would tell my younger self, I love you.
Oh, I love that.
And the reason why is because there's a point of my time and my younger self that I didn't have that love for me.
Mm,
And I felt like, yeah, I could tell you about all these stocks, these money moves you make, follow your passion, follow your heart, do all of this. But if you don't feel love, it disconnects you from anything or feeling all those things. And not because I could tell you anything and you
right.
go one after the other because you don't feel love. You're searching for love, and I'm giving you other things. So I would
Mhm.
go tell my younger self, I love
Hey, I love that because that is so important. Like so many children need to hear that, and so many children aren't in situations where they do. We're going into been in the pandemic for a few now. You know what I mean? And there are children who are in these situations, where they don't feel that love and they don't feel the encouragement that they once got from teachers, friends, stuff like that. So it's very important. What you brought up is very important about love and loving yourself. So I appreciate you sharing that.
you.
And
Yes.
so tell us about your self-help guide. Speaking of love, stuff that we love, level up, how to start living your best life now.
All right. So level up, how to start living your best life now. That was a book that was like, okay, so I have to give you the story behind that. So I went through depression around 2017.
Okay.
So during that time, well, I was carrying that energy for me for a while, but it
Mm-hmm.
came full force in around September. I would say October 2017 is when I got confronted with it. I had to realize this is where I'm at and this is what I've been dealing with. And through that, I got to a point where, and this, I was still living in Jersey because I moved into September 2018 to Florida. So, but going through that at that moment in time, it was tough because I didn't know where I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I didn't know, I didn't know north or south.
Hmm.
It was tough,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was going through that, I had to gain and I had to realize I had to learn to heal myself.
Hmm.
Um, I had a coach. Salute her. It's actually her birthday, so I want
Oh.
to give a shout out. Happy birthday, Tequila Diamond. Salute to you. I know you're in Vegas living it up. Either ways, so she was one of the people that recognized I was depressed. And I was so depressed, I didn't know I was depressed, meaning I felt it. But if you ask me what's wrong with me, I can't even put it in words. I just know I felt it and I didn't felt right. I was not happy. I was just going through it and I was living life through motions. Don't get me wrong, I was still social. I was still
Right.
smiling. I was still going out. But
Mhm.
inside, it wasn't it.
It was a disconnect.
Yeah, it was a major disconnect. So as I started to heal, I started to using the term level up because I felt that that's what I need to do. Because one of the main reasons why I was depressed, I just felt like I was underachieving grotesquely.
Okay.
So I got to a point where I started just hashtagging level up because I knew that's something in my heart and mind I needed to do. I need to level up. I need to get to the next level. I need to keep growing and stuff like that. So I started using that hashtag. At that year, it was Level Up 2018. I did the event. Well, I had an opportunity to put together like a empowerment seminar, and
Mhm.
I called the seminar Level Up Mind, Body, and Spirit. So That's where Level Up came from. Now, my
Okay.
mentor I just shouted out, she had did a presentation because she's a keynote speaker, and she did a presentation, and her theme song was it with the presentation was "Live Your Best Life" by Cardi B
Yeah.
and Chance the Rapper.
Okay.
So I heard that song, boom. So that song stuck with me because that was the first time I heard it because
Mhm.
I was going through it. So after I moved out here, I moved to Florida, I settled in, I started listening to the song more, and I started noticing these other songs talk about live your best life and all this. It's like a wave of songs that's going through with preaching that message. And then I had to ask my higher self, my divine higher self, is what does it mean to live your best life?
Hmm.
So when I decided to write the book, Level Up was always going to be the title. That was it was. But I needed a tagline, and I was playing around with some stuff, uh, and so when I asked my higher self, that's what gave me the answer, and that's what the book came out of. Me asking my higher self what
Right.
it means to live your best life, and that's why I got the title Level Up: How to Start Live Your Best Life Now.
Awesome. 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 And so, what one piece of advice that sticks out to you the most from what you share in the guide?
That's like asking a person what's their favorite child. Like there's a lot of stuff that sticks out.
Okay, give me your top three.
Top three. All right. So my one advice is my chapter. Well, in the book it's called Process. So it's process one, process two, whatever. So in process two, I'll talk about self-love. And I talk about learning how to love yourself unconditionally. The key word, unconditionally. Not love yourself when things are going good, when your body's on fleek and life is going great. Loving yourself is when things are going good, when it's going rough, all of that. That is true love. That is true testament of love. We all want someone to love us on that level, but it's important for us to love ourselves on that level. So that's one advice.
True.
Number two, learn to follow your passions.
Mm.
Is that my number two? Yeah. When you follow your passion, you'll change the world. The way to change the world is by following your passion. And in process three, we're talking about your gifts, passion, and purpose. And the key thing is knowing your passion, because when you are aligned with your passions, you find your purpose along that path. And once you follow your passions, you are doing something that many people do not have the courage to do.
Right.
So, and the third, hmm, and the third thing I want people to take away from this book is to understand how divinely powered you are.
Mm.
You know, I talk about sexual energy, how you can use that to manifest a life around you. I
Mhm.
talk about money and not the financial aspect of money, but the mindset that comes with understanding money, having a money mindset. And I want people to realize that this life is yours. This human experience, this is yours. You cannot control what happens outside of you, but you control what you have within you. So tap into that power that you have within, and allow that to create the life you want around you. So those are my three messages.
Hey, I love it. So I feel like self-love and love has been like a big theme, throughout this interview. So what would you tell, let's start with a young boy. A young boy comes to you and is like, hey, you know what I mean? I'm struggling with self-image and I'm struggling with self-love. What would be the first thing you would tell him?
The question I would ask, the first thing I would want to know is ask them. When I ask people, I ask, what is wrong with you? What do you have a problem with?
Mm.
And I let them tell. And then the question I would ask in return is, what is right with you?
Hmm.
So now, instead of focusing on, because when you realize what is right with you, That's a long list. That's
Right.
a very long list of what's right with you. You got your teeth are straight, you're smiling, life is good, you got a warm bed, you got food in the fridge, you got friends, you got people that like you. It's usually a longer list than a list of things that's wrong with you. So what we do is we focus on the things that is right. Because once you realize that those things matter more than what's wrong,
Right.
then you start to realize that okay, maybe I could do something better. And that's the point of life that I want people to realize is that don't focus on what's wrong with you. Focus on what's right with you.
Yes. So true. And I want to thank some of our guests for coming on. Brother Anthony says, I can dig that. Never heard that one before concerning your comment about love earlier. And Ace Watson has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us, saying, go and get it, brother. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you both for joining us. And thank you for all of our guests for joining us this evening. So, what advice would you give to someone that's looking to become a life coach? Like yourself.
Um, First off, I would say is the question you want to ask yourself is what are you doing it for?
Hmm.
Are you doing it for a come up or are you doing it to service humanity? Because that's the first thing to do is to service humanity. So
Right.
you have to have a genuine love for people of all types. And not everybody can do that. Trust me, some people don't like certain people because of who they vote for and certain things, and we have those type of things. So when you start to focus on what you have to love people, you have to understand that people need help, and you can provide a solution. Now, the one thing I would tell you is that the goal for a life coach, if you want to be a life coach, is to focus on how you can impact that person's life and not focus on what you could do for them and you need to help them. They're the number one focus.
Right.
And the most important thing, though, is to be your own life coach.
Right, right.
Be an example of what you say. Start healing yourself because it's not about being perfect. We're not perfect. But allow your imperfections to guide someone because
Yeah.
people don't really know how much you know unless they know how much you care. And once you are showing them that you care and you want better for them, it can make a life much better. And that's the advice I would give anybody. And be guided. Allow the divine energy to guide you as well. Don't just, you don't know it all. Operate from that divine energy, and that will guide you.
Hey, I love it. I love it. And so, as an empowerment speaker, switching to one of your other hats that you wear, how do you prepare when you go into a meeting, into a conference, or another event where you're giving a speech or where you're talking to a group of audience?
All right, so one of the things I do for preparation is one, I meditate. I focus, I channel my energy on the message and just ask for guidance and allow guidance to guide me on that because there's feelings. Number two, the second thing I do is whoever I'm around, if it's an event I'm doing it or if it's just something I'm doing for other people, I want to make sure I give gratitude to them and to the platform and everything because gratitude is one of the main thing I do in life is to be grateful and gratitude.
Right.
And then just and then allow myself to flow. Like what happens once you in there, you might stumble on the word, they may not catch it. You
Right.
meant to say something else, they don't know. I
Right.
just flow and I give what I can, and my goal is to give all that I can at that moment.
That's really important. You said some key things there. Like the first thing is, that I just caught just now. Not everybody, no one's gonna know if you mess up. They'll
Exactly.
see if you mess up, if you acknowledge that you mess up. Just keep
Yeah.
going, keep flowing, like you said.
Yeah, and I learned that when I was going to school. I was in musicals. I did some
Okay.
piano classes. Keyboard classes. I used to play different instruments as a kid. And whenever we do a performance, I was in a choir or whatever. When they said, no matter what happens, if you mess up, they don't know. Just keep
Right.
going. keep doing, because I was one of those that oh snap, I messed up.
Right.
But so I that was ingrained with me as I got older, and I just transitioned over to when I do speaking.
Okay, okay. And so what do you think is the second? Because that's really important. What do you think is the second most important piece to remember about public speaking?
Your speech. You got to remember what you're talking about, and
Right.
that's important. And also being grounded. Like you're going to be, it's going to be nerve wracking. I get nervous to this day. I never, these people never heard me, and they did. They heard me then. Am I going to be as good as I was then? There's all these negative thoughts that's going to go through you.
Mhm.
Learn to ground yourself. Learn to take a deep breath. Your breath is the most powerful thing you have. Your
Yeah,
breath can slow down time. Your breath can heat something that's cold, and your breath can cool something that's hot. Your breath is magical. So use that breath to just take a moment, take a second, slow down the moment,
mhm.
and realize that you got this, and know that.
For sure. Definitely and for sure. So, what books or people have influenced the way you operate as someone who seeks to inspire?
All right, so books. I could read, I could do books for years, but uh,
Recent
this,
books.
all right, so a person I want to mention is probably the person that's responsible for why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Les Brown. Les Brown story mirrors mine so much, and when he told his story, I was in this business meeting. I was like 21, and I'm listening to him tell his story. I'm like, because in my mind, I'm gonna tell you how I was. I was 21 years old. I was in a meeting. I've seen them put on these speakers, these coaches, and stuff like that. And I said, I think I could do that. I like talking in front of people. I think I could do that. But all they showed was these white older dudes. I cannot connect to that. And so I
Right.
thought, and my messed up thinking at that moment is, oh, you ain't got a chance. Like they ain't me. Let that one go. That was a messed up mentality of mine. But
Right.
what changed for me was when what changed for me is when I saw Les Brown. Les Brown is a black man, very powerful speaker, very one of the world's famous, top 10 in the world today, and he's in his 70s. He's a powerful individual, but he was grew up and they told him he was educatively mentally retarded.
Mhm.
He was diagnosed with in school.
Right.
And I was diagnosed when I was young to have a learning disability and a speech disorder. So I felt that parallel. So and he made a statement that a teacher told him, Mr. Washington, um, called him and asked him, can he do a problem on the board? And
Mhm.
he said, no, I can't do that. He said, why can't you do that? And Les Brown said as a kid, he said, because I'm educationally mentally retarded. I'm not supposed to do problems on the board. And Mr. Washington told him, he said, listen, don't let other people's opinion become your reality. And I'm sorry, Mr. Washington was speaking to me.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
he was speaking to me because at that moment I felt that was the biggest change in me because I was constantly allowing other people to shape my reality based on their views. From a kid, I knew that I was not supposed to be in special ed. I
Yeah.
felt like I was a victim, and to this day, now I know I was a victim, but that's a
Right.
whole different story.
Yeah.
But being put in an environment where you're told you're less than the average, that messes with you. And I carried that for years. But when he told his story and seeing where he was at and the success he had, that gave me the power, the belief that I could do this.
Right.
And it didn't start right away, but it transitioned into me doing the same thing.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Getting inspiration from inspired people to become an inspiration to others. That's a story.
Absolutely, absolutely, and also some of the books I read, Think and Grow Rich was one of the books that changed
Yeah.
my way of thinking because I've never that was a book that introduced sexual energy to me,
Mhm.
sexual transmutation to me, and many other books. A book that I did like I read this book from Relentless, which is a book from Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan's trainer.
Okay.
So he was what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Okay. Drop it in the comments if you know it when you're watching.
Changed me. It's so many different books. I can't even name them. I got a library of books
Yes.
that's there. So there's so many that's inspired me to do what I do. So
Mhm. Awesome. But Les Brown, he's critical. He's so important, and he's inspired so many lives, including mine. Just hearing his story. So, what would you recommend to someone who wants to get into public speaking but doesn't know where to start?
start. Listen, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to got here.
Mhm.
I'm still learning some things right now.
Yeah.
A journey to 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You
Hey.
have to take the first step. You have to just do it. Just go out, start calling yourself a motivational speaker, make a page, do that. And then from there, learn your trade.
Yes.
For one resource, I'm gonna promise you, this one resource everybody has. It's a freest resource that we have. It's called the internet. And and then you have a tool. This I'm gonna tell you this college you should go to. This
Okay.
college is called YouTube University.
Hey.
It's free admission. Everybody can have access to it. All you just need is internet. Get
Yes.
to YouTube University and start looking up some stuff. Start Googling some stuff. How did I become a speaker? This and that. There are people who can teach you. There are people that doing speaking classes. Be a part of those classes. Start to grow. Start to be active in it, and allow your energy to attract the right people
Yes.
because your energy matters as well. So we can sit here but none of that's going to happen if you're waiting to get started. So the first thing I do is just get started.
Hey. The most important thing. Take that first step.
Yes.
So, what are some of your upcoming projects? Some of the things you're working on right now. Let's get to the fun part, right?
All right. So the fun part is, all right. So here's what I'm doing. I'm working on this big roller coaster full of. No, I'm just joking. So one of the projects I'm working on is I'm working on a course, of course, for my book because Level Up is not just it's an action book. It's not just a book just for you to go read and feel good. It's for
Yeah,
you to start taking action.
right.
Process one, I'm talking about learning about self. Process two, loving yourself. Process three, learning your gifts, passion, purpose. Process four, building relationship. Process five, learning your sexual energy and learning also how to manifest. Process six, changing your money mindset. Process seven, explore, enjoying your fruits of labors. So your fruits, it's celebration. That's
Yeah.
that's the best life part that everyone loves to talk about. The
Right, right.
celebration. When you notice, I had to go to seven. We had to go 7 chapters into it before we got to that part because the pre-work matters.
Yeah.
And finally, leaving a legacy.
Mm.
And in my course, I'm going to show you how to do each and one of those things in my course. So that is one project I'm working on.
Okay.
Um, and that's going to be heading down the line in a few months.
Okay.
We're looking to launch that. So be on the lookout. Number two, by in the next few weeks, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm looking before Halloween to drop my audiobook for my book. So there's an audiobook that will be available for you to purchase. I'll have that available. So it's something that everybody have a choice. I'll be having some meditation music along with it. It's going to have an option whether you want music or no music, but I'm giving you the package, and you could definitely use that for your long rides and your drive, or if you're just not a reader. Because I know a lot of people that don't want to sit down and read, but they'll
Right.
listen to audiobooks, and I want to make sure I reach those people as well. So
Yes.
that's another thing. We also, I'm on my, oh, it keeps going. It keeps going. So the next thing, so the also I'm going to be, if you want, reach out to me. For those who have my book, those who are interested in ordering my book, I'm doing a book club, but it's in my Facebook group, which I'm doing a book club, and I'm going to be starting not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
Okay.
I will be starting a book club where we can get everybody in and you could have conversation with me, learn about the book. We could read a chapter each week and we could have some discussion while I'm there present. So I'm bringing that interaction. And then lastly, I will be doing live on my Facebook page, between my Facebook and my YouTube, where I'll be doing live interviews with other people, what we're doing. So yeah, those are a few things I'm doing.
Awesome, awesome. Sounds like you got a lot of big stuff coming up. I'm super excited. Let me know how I can support in any way. All right. So unfortunately, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I thought you was asking me something, but go ahead.
Well, I was getting ready to say, unfortunately, we have come to the end of this week's episode of the Black Motivation Podcast. Here, tears, sad face. So, what words of motivation would you like to leave us with on this week's episode?
My words of motivation is just this. Listen, ain't over. Like it, as long as you are breathing, you have an opportunity to make your life better.
Yes.
So value the breath that you take because it's a powerful one. And the best part about your breath is it's not counting on you to breathe.
Hey.
It's not doing it for you. So value your breath because you know that as long as you're breathing air, you can make your whole life better.
I totally, completely agree. And thank you so much for that. So, where can we find you and support all of your works, all of your projects on social media and the web?
All right. So, social media, you can follow me on Instagram, Dr. _Love Jones. You can also follow my page, Javon, Dr. Love Jones, on Facebook. I have a page for Level Up. Also, you can follow anything you want to know about Level Up, book signing events, speaking about the book club stuff. You can follow me on, sorry, you can follow me on IG, levelupbestlife.com. And those are a few places you can find me. Facebook, IG is mainly my platforms I'm on.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much again for joining us on this week's episode. Go ahead.
One more thing, I forgot to tell you, you can get my book on Amazon.
Yes.
So search for my book, levelupbestlife.com. I'm going to put it in the comments so y'all can access the book if you're looking to purchase a book.
And how much is that book?
It is $15.
Only $15?
Just 15. Trust me, this is $15 that's going to do a lot of work for you.
Yes, well worth it for sure.
I'm gonna tell you now, it's one of the best investments you're gonna give yourself this year. $15 towards a book is one of the best things you could do.
Amen, amen. All right, well, thank you again for joining us. It's been an awesome, inspirational episode. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you for having me.